Hey, how's it going? It's Devin with Devin's Card House. I make daily TCG videos. If you're interested in that, please subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about Grand Archive. So there's a new set coming out. It's Alchemical Revolutions. This will be the third set coming from Weebs of the Shore, not to be confused with Wizards of the Coast. It's funny how they did that, right? But this is their third outing. So the last one they did, Fractured Crown, was kind of like a supplemental set for Dawn of Ashes, which was their first set. So there wasn't as many cards. They came in kind of smaller boxes. So this is their actual like third, second real big release that they're having. So. Anyways, this new set is coming out on January 26th, and it's got this the vibe. I would put it as what is it, steampunk? But from other card games, it kind of reminds me of the mechanologist from Flesh and Blood. What is her name? There's that pixie girl from. What's her name? Ash. I can't remember what her name is, but it's like the mechanologist from Flesh and Blood, or also just like reading the descriptions. There's some Kaladesh vibes going on here, because instead of like magic that they were using, or mana that they were using in Magic the Gathering and Kaladesh, here they're using alchemy, but it's the same kind of place where there's like they're inventive, they're creative, they're building things, but they're using like alchemy, just like the artificers were using the mana to create the metal that they made back in Kaladesh. So it's very interesting, and also there's like a revolution going on. So that's a very similar theme. If you remember Kaladesh and what was Aether Revolt. So they're using Aether, not mana. Well, I was gonna get that obviously. So they're using Aether to build whatever that metal is that Brea is made out of. Come on. But so instead they're using alchemy and they're building stuff. It's very similar. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. So it's got that vibe there, cool, creative, steampunk vibe. So this set is bringing to it. There's 3 new champion types. There's a Guardian, Ranger, and Cleric, which we haven't seen before. And I'm kind of interested in this when I was reading through the notes here. They're saying that these are the final, that there's only 6. Like, I don't know why they're limiting themselves like that. That seems kind of odd to be like, okay, we've now released the final. There won't be any more. So in the wording that they used in the article to talk about the set, they're like, okay, it's the final 3. Oh, I mean, why not leave it open? I want to see like a necromancer, or I don't know, like a tank person. Who knows? You could do anything you want. So, but I just want to see a necromancer. Of course, right? But maybe they would consider that a mage. But I just don't see why you close it off or like say this is the final or this is it. So, and I'm sure if the game keeps going, which. I'm hoping that it does that, of course. I'm here to support it. So, if you're here with me and you love Grand Archives, then you're with me and you wanted to keep it going. But hopefully in the future they leave it open for other things. I'm sure they will if it continues to go on. When it continues to go on, okay? So, the 3 champions, there's a Guardian. This guy, what is his name? It's like Tanaris, I think is his name. He kind of specializes in defense of the field. Like, when he comes out, he'll taunt the battlefield and protect the allies, so they have to go with him. He does, like, big swings, but kind of like the Guardians in Flesh and Blood. It's really high in resources to do, like, really big hits when he swings back. So I saw, like, one card that he had that is cost 6 to play, but you can do things to bring down the cost, but it hits for 6, so it's like a really strong card. So he'll be coming out, taunting the field, getting everyone to attack him, and that's good because some of the allies, they have a ability. It's I'm trying to think of it. It's whatever it's called. Let me see, did I make a note of it? No. It's some ability that if they don't get damaged for a turn, then they'll have some special effect, like it'll like draw you cards or things like that. So, and I'll put it in here. But anyways, so that's pretty cool. So it's very thematical that your guardian is actually guarding people, and when he does guard people, then it gives you kind of a bonus, which is like that's very cool and thematic for a guardian character. Then you have like the ranger, which is cool because they have a gun. there's a gun in the game, and the gun is going to be messing people up. But depending, you have to do like certain things to get it out. So you like get your gun, but then you have to get bullets for the gun, and then you have to get distant. But when you get distant, then if you're ranged and you have like a certain range, then it gives you a additional attack. So it's kind of cool. So it all kind of flows together really well, and that's really what I like about Grand Archive, which is kind of just like Flesh and Blood. There's so many elements in Grand Archive that are like awesome. Like it includes like things like Digimon and like a lot of Flesh and Blood, but then there's even magic. I love how it's all like low. We're only talking like people have like 3 attack and 3 defense. It's not like, you know, like Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh where there's 10,000, you have 10,000 damage. Like I really like the Western design of Grand Archive. That's one of my favorite things about it. It's like anime with Western design, which is their whole philosophy. So I love that. So so with the Ranger, they'll be coming out using guns, but it seems like they're more of like a build up to get what they have to do, which is cool. But there's certain cards that you can use to like get you distant to give you those benefits of using the gun, which is awesome. Then there's a cleric, which is kind of like a this is what I mean. If they have a cleric and a mage, then they can obviously have a necromancer, right? It's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to happen. So the cleric is like a mage, but it's not. They use a really cool ability like this one. Her name's like Arisana. Oh, and the ranger's name is Diana. I remember that. So, and Diana's kind of a cat girl for all you furry, weird cat girl people out there. You'll get your cat girl in the 3rd set. So unless there was, I guess Sylvie and all the other of those race, they're kind of cat people too. So, so never mind. You already had cat people, so forget I said that. So, the next person is Arisana, and she's the cleric, and kind of her thing is she's like the alchemist, and that's why it's called Alchemical Revolution, right? Yeah, Alchemical Revolution, I knew that. So when she enters the battlefield, she'll be creating tokens and like getting these herbs and things, and then she can use the herbs to make potions, which is a really cool concept. So like your hero enters the battlefield, your champion enters the battlefield, you'll create 2 herbs at random. So you roll a dice, create 2 herbs, and then you can use those herbs either later on as just like a single effect. Like one will let you like put a card at the bottom of your library and redraw, or one will maybe give you a status effect on an enemy. But then you can use potions to combine herbs, and instead of like paying the cost out of your memory, you're actually going to just use the herbs to pay you. So you sacrifice the herbs in order to make the potions. And then some of the potions, if you leave them out, the longer they brew, then they'll be able to have like even like better effects as time goes on. So really, really cool concept designs. I haven't really seen that, and especially out of like a character in and of itself that's like brewing and making stuff and leaving it on the field as traps and things like that. Like the gameplay dynamic that could be there in this character just seems like it's really has really high potential. And the designers, Weebs, even said themselves that this kind of champion is going to be a little more advanced, a little more for people who really want to stick with it and learn how to play. So I don't know. I think it's a really cool design. I'm really excited to give it a try. But then there's other things about the set that besides like the new things that have been spoiled. Like a bunch of people, I know Red Zone Mage, what's his name? He's a YouTuber, but he was the first person to reveal. They're going through the reveal schedule, and I believe there is my calendar. I think there's like 2 days left until the whole set is revealed. So you could go through, and if you go to the website, you'll be able to find like a schedule and see who revealed everything. So I only like checked out the main article because I was also really interested in seeing about what their thoughts were on releasing. And I found this to be really interesting is that they're doing a first edition set release on January 26th. And it's kind of like not collector boosters, but they're saying there's only going to be one wave of first edition. It comes out on January 26th. They're not printing any more of it. But in first edition, there's going to be specific CSRs, collector rares, that'll come out that you can only get in the first edition. And then there's also some cards that are in foil that you can only get in the first edition. And I think that is like a pretty good, I mean, because I know like when Flesh and Blood was doing this, their whole thing was like you only get cold foils in the first edition. This is, you're only going to be getting certain collector rares and you're only going to get some foils in the first edition. Eventually, just when Everfest came out, that all kind of fell apart. I don't even think they made an unlimited version of Everfest because, well, I think they also, Flesh and Blood, they kind of and what is it? Limited Story Games. What is it? LSCC, LSS, Limited Legend Story Studios. I had to remember that. They kind of printed that set into the ground, so nobody wanted Unlimited after it came out because there was so much first edition. So I hope that Weaves of the Shore can combat this and keep their first edition like sought after and wanted, because that's like really the reason people are going to be wanting it, is because it has this special stuff in it. This stuff kind of always worries me. I kind of don't like paying premiums for things. Like I like things that hit a low that I know, because like you can get stuck in like what happened with Everfest or Monarch. Think about this, where they just printed too much in all those first edition boxes that when you had to pre-order them, you're kind of gambling just straight off the bat, because you're like, well, if I don't get it now, then the prices could skyrocket, but then you could get it now and the prices could like tank. But I know that could go with like, I mean, that kind of happened with Fractured Crown. So I mean, even with a non-first edition sets, like it's totally possible for that to happen. But it just kind of sucks when first editions have like an embedded premium in them, you know, so there's just more room to fall. So you have to be really careful with print runs. You have to get it just right. You have to get just the right amount of good stuff in there, so people are gonna want to pick up the boxes. I think that I have high hopes, and I'll want both, because even in this, so the Ultra Edition, the Unlimited Ultra Edition, it's going to have a different version of rarity in it, so you're going to be able to pick up different levels of CSR, but they haven't really, maybe they stated it, but it hasn't been on their official website yet. But you could either easier to get collector rares or harder to get collector rares. And I know there's 16 of them this time, or is there 8? 16, I believe. Did I put it in my notes? 16 different collector rares. So you got to think that maybe 8 are in the first edition and then 8 are in the Ultra Edition, or maybe there's 4 special ones in the. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they said that they're introducing a new rarity of CSR, which is kind of interesting. A new rarity of a certain rarity, which is kind of interesting. But for the Ultra Edition, so. I'm interested to see how it works out. Like I said, I'm gonna hopefully get both. The box design looks really cool. I know I was gonna show you back here, but the boxes look awesome. I hope my one ask for Weebs is the last boxes for Dawn of Ash were really cool, except I don't like how extended they are on the top. Like I want them to fit the packs a little better. So I really like if you're gonna do the 24 pack designs like Digimon, or even from Fractured Crown, how those look. I don't like that. There's a little bonus section, extra bit at the top that's just for extra plastic from the packs, and I wish they'd just get rid of that and just make it like a regular size box, because I mean, these boxes look cool, but they look like they're 36 pack box, but they're not, and they're only doing that. It's almost like, you know, when you get a bag of chips and it's you open it up and it's like only chips are on the very bottom, like there's all this extra space at the top. Like that's what they're doing, and there's no reason to do that. Okay, so but whatever, it's still cool. It just takes up more space. You know what I mean? Okay, and it's just air. So whatever. So I'm excited for the new set. As more information comes out, I'll be sure to report on it. But January's a little ways away, and there's lots of things in between this. I've got to get my hands on some Fractured Crown and actually crack it open, get it on eBay and start selling it, and also getting to play around with it. My brother's coming to town tomorrow, so I'm like, maybe I should get him to play some Grand Archive with me. Also, there's new store tournaments that are coming out, and one of them is near me. I'm considering going, but that happens on like November 26th or something, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it. So I'll try to if I can. I would love to make it out to a store tournament and play some and get to see the Grand Archive crowd, because I've only got to play this in my friend group. I haven't really got to play it with people out there, so that'd be cool to see. So anyways, that's all the information I have. I know I'm late to the game on this, but this is a new YouTube channel, and going forward, if there's any news that comes out on Grand Archive, I have any thoughts on Grand Archive, I'm definitely going to be talking about it on here. I love the game, and I want to support it, so that's what I'm here to do. So if you're interested in Grand Archive, you want to get updates, please subscribe. If you're interested in other stuff too, I always talk about Lorcana, Digimon, Flesh and Blood, Sorcery, Magic. Always bitching about Magic. I'm just an angry nerd bitching about Magic. But that's it for me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye-bye.